Hello, I'm Keely, your stepdaughter, and I'll be interviewing you today about something that we're studying in my policy class. Can you tell us your name?
Yes, Laconda Goss.
Okay. So the first question I want to ask you is if you have any personal biases that you're aware of against any other group of people.
No,
And you're sure about that?
I'm sure about that.
Okay. Have you or anyone that you know ever been to prison?
I have not, but I have had several family members that have been incarcerated for periods of time up to from a year to 10 years in and out.
Okay. How do you feel about the prison system regarding what you already know about it and what you may have heard from people that you know?
It's overcrowded with a lot of people not really getting the help that they need. You know, I feel like the majority of the inmates are there because they have addictions to alcohol, drugs, you know, addictive personality disorder rather than criminal acts just because for the hell of it, you know,
Yeah.
to feed an addiction.
Well, do you care about what goes on inside of the prisons in America or globally?
Sure.
And why would you say that you care about those things? Why would you say you care about what happens inside a prison?
Because the people who are in prison are still people, and I care about everyone and injustice anywhere. So sure, I would be for what's right.
So how would you say that you feel personally about victims of HIV and AIDS?
Victims. That's exactly what they are, and that's how I feel about it.
How important do you think safe sex is in our society?
Extremely, because even though AIDS, there are medications, there's still no cure, and it still does kill.
Hundreds of thousands of people.
Right.
How has AIDS ever directly affected the people that you know, or have you ever known anyone who has been a victim of HIV or AIDS?
I have not personally known anyone, you know, but I cannot imagine living with such an awful thing and all of the stigmatism that goes along with it and the way people look at you because you have this illness, you know.
Mm-hmm. Or the surprise of not knowing that somebody has HIV or AIDS. And
Sure.
then the way people's mind just changes once they find that out about. Country.
Well, certainly affects us because, you know, people who are in prison don't always, you know, they get out, they're out, they have relationships, they move on, so something,
Then they could end up back
any
in prison.
disease that they could have contracted in prison, certainly they could take out and then bring anything that they contract while they're out there back in, repeat offenders, you know.
Yeah. Do you care about the inmates who would be suffering from HIV or AIDS? There are hundreds of thousands that people, everyday people who are not within the prison system, probably never think about. Would you say that you care about the people that are in prison who are suffering from one of these viruses?
I would never want to see any harm to anyone, but do I think about that, you know? No. But if someone brought it to my attention,
Right.
as you're doing, Miss Keeley, then yes, I would be for anything that would help in any way.
Anybody.
Anybody, anywhere.
Right. Well, are you aware of the fact that currently people are not tested? It is not mandatory. There are specific prisons and in specific countries, but it is not mandatory that people are tested for HIV or AIDS upon entry to or exit from prison. Are you aware of that?
No, I was not. I would just assume that would be mandatory. Anything less would be crazy.
So I would say that, would you say it hits you pretty hard that people aren't tested for viruses such as these or any other sexually transmitted disease
Yes, yes.
before they go into prison?
Well, and then when they go out,
Does it make you angry almost that that isn't important enough to the people who are running the prisons or the people who are in charge of the policies surrounding prisons, that they don't care enough to test people for HIV or AIDS?
maybe they just don't think about it. And if it was brought to their attention, maybe their minds could be changed.
So if there were a policy that would make it mandated that people were tested for HIV or AIDS upon entry or exit from prison, would you vote yes for it?
Oh, definitely, definitely.
And why would you vote yes for it?
Because I feel like that is, they should be tested when they come in, but I also feel like they should be able to go to the restroom and get a condom off of, out of a machine, just like they get toilet paper. It's just a necessary means of keeping the body clean and safe. I think tampons should be free in every bathroom, and condoms, just like toilet paper and hand soap. So sure, I would not only, I would fight for that, sure. And I think it's a great idea.
Well, thank you for your time.
Well, you're very welcome, Miss Goss.